You probably saw this title and was like, mate, there's no way you can be serious. Everyone hates toxic opposition and teammates, it ruins the game and overall just creates a bad experience for everyone involved. And yeah, I totally agree. Being toxic isn't a good way to conduct yourself while you play the game, as will make you lose games, play bad, and tilt yourself more than anyone. This is the case for the vast majority of the time. However, there are certain very specific situations in which being the antagonist of the story can help you win. Just quickly before the video starts, be sure to join my Discord and follow me on Twitter. The links to both are in the description below. Also, be sure to like and subscribe with notifications on to be alerted for any future videos or streams. In order to help me explain this better so everyone doesn't go out and start saving their teammates at every chance, this is a perfect example of when to use toxicity to your advantage. So this is me, Octane main, Grand Champ dropout, and Toxicity master. On the other side of the field we have the opposition, arrogant, egotistical, narcissistic, just an average Rocket League player grinding ones and trying to rank up. The bottom line is, it's nothing out of the ordinary, just another ones game. Now, this game did not start well for me at all. My kickoff was terrible and I was playing worse than John Sandman on a bad day, and that's saying something. The opponent scored 1, 2, 3, and 4 goals in quick succession, and I found myself starting to get tilted because I was practically getting destroyed. Not to mention the fact that this guy was starting to get a little bit arrogant and taunt me, evidently trying to rub it in my face that my skill was equivalent to that of an all-star bot. Now, there are 3 ways this can go. Number 1, I say nothing and do nothing and continue to play the game and rectify my mistakes. Number 2, I get frustrated with both him and myself, give in to his arrogance, which will either result in more goals being scored against me and ultimately I forfeit. However, there is a third result that no one really thinks of or pays attention to, and that is to direct some of his arrogance, toxicity, and confidence back at him, even though I'm down and playing bad. As I'm going to refer to this a lot, I'm going to call it toxicity separation, as you are toxic without emotionally investing yourself in it. It's separated from you. Acknowledging that I needed a massive change to try to come back, I elected to go down the path of option 3. Just before I continue with the story, I just want to make a quick disclaimer. This option is extremely risky and has a large tendency to backfire upon you, and you'll often only end up tilting yourself. So if you try to utilize this technique, you have to make sure you keep a cool head the entire time. Don't let your emotions get the better of you and focus solely on gameplay. Despite being the toxic one on the surface, on the inside you're totally focused on the game. Separate the two and it will not backfire on you. Righto, so after the next kickoff I end up scoring and bringing it back to 1-4. Not a large lead by any means, especially in ones. Instead of being humbled that I scored, I utilised toxic separation and watched the entire replay to annoy him. At this point he's probably thinking, who is this scrub? I'm destroying him and he gets a lucky goal and now he's being toxic? As you can see, this increases his emotional investment in the game, and now he'll try to play less smartly and more impulsively to gain the toxic edge over me and beat me, as well as trying to make me more tilted. However, the thing is, I've separated myself from the toxicity. Whatever he says to me doesn't affect me, but what I say to him will affect him. I have a license to be toxic with no consequences. Another goal isn't scored for a while, until I miss my chance to score and then decide to go for boost over ball, leaving the net open and giving him his 4-goal lead back. I say nothing, knowing it won't help my cause, and ignore whatever he says. Obviously he's pretty smug and confident at this point, but I know I can still get inside his head. He watches the entire replay, but so do I, removing any leverage he's trying to gain. His demo plays have worked wonders for him this game, and he's using them more and more to tilt me. However, he goes for one too many, leaving the net open. I hit him with a close one and now he's a little bit frustrated as he had the chance to challenge but instead gave up an easy goal to someone he still views as being trash. And I stuff up the next kickoff and concede a goal instantly. This was really testing my patience as he was getting quite toxic, but I stayed true to my game plan, ignored it and focused on the next play. Sure enough, I won it. He got too bump hungry again, trying to tilt me, and it was another open net for me. The next play was the exact same. A kickoff win put him in a bad position, forced a bad challenge, and let me put in another easy open net. All of a sudden, the score was 6-4, only a 2-goal lead for him. Despite his only dominance, confidence and arrogance, he would be starting to worry as his tilt attempts aren't working, and he's finding himself frustrated by my thanks and no problem. However, his demo-hungry playstyle works yet again and he gives himself another open net. Despite this working, I'm still quite happy as I know he is going out of his way to demo me, even if it isn't the best option to take, because he's trying to annoy me. Yeah, he did demo me then, but I've scored more goals from missed demo attempts than he has from actually demoing me, so I take it as a win. Having solidified his lead to 3 goals, he's even more toxic and arrogant, and he lets loose with 3 what a saves, as he's sure he's going to win and assumes I was tilted. However, this is far from the truth. I am completely cool, calm and collected and am able to bang on 3 quick goals to bring the scores to 7-all. I've been watching full replays and dropping the occasional quick chat just to annoy him, even when I was down, but so was he. The difference is, I didn't care what he said, whereas he does, putting pressure on him to beat me and ultimately causing his unforced errors and the loss of his lead he was so confident about. With 40 seconds left, I am too slow to challenge and he scores. Having just scored, he's quite happy with himself. Now he just has to hold the lead for just under 40 seconds to secure the win and assert his dominance over me. This should be pretty easy, right? Well, anyone who's played ones knows this isn't the case. After a bit of midfield play, he underestimates my offense, gets too cocky and turns stupidly on the ball, giving up his lead. I don't say anything, just letting the silence fill the void and letting him make himself angry and frustrated. So the scores are level with 18 seconds left. I won't say anything, but I'll just let it play out for you guys. That was it. I won the game. Despite being absolutely and utterly destroyed at the start, with my opponent taunting me and asserting his dominance, I ignored it, separated myself from it, and flipped the toxicity back on him, resulting in the quickest departure in Rocket League history. He didn't say anything, but the silence said 1,000 words. If I hadn't been toxic to him and continued to play the game normally, I probably would have lost or got tilted and forfeited. I'm not saying that just to prove my point, I honestly think that being toxic won me that game. My opponent went from arrogance, to annoyance, to worry, to franticness, to disbelief, and finally a good old rage quit. It was honestly one of the most satisfying games I've ever played, and made me realise how toxicity can be used to your advantage. So again, be very careful. Only use this when you're detached from any trash talk or toxicity directed at you, and only at your opponents. Please don't think it's a good idea to do to your teammates, as it will only end badly. It's hard to use in 2s and 3s, but still possible, but its best application is in 1s. So follow the strict guidelines about how to use toxicity separation, and it will help you if you use it sparingly and correctly. Other than that, be sure to let me know how it goes for you if you do use it, and feel free to share any funny stories similar to the game I played in the comments. I'm sure myself and many others will enjoy reading through them. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to like and subscribe with notifications on to be alerted for future content, and I hope you all have a splendid day. Cheers.